Hi guys, welcome back to the Home and Homestead. If you're new to the channel, I'm Rebecca. Today we're going to be doing some gardening and some container planting. I have these really neat raised garden beds that I was gifted last fall and I wanted to plant them this year. I was thinking of doing one with some mixed lettuce greens and another with some carrots and radishes, and I can continually plant the lettuce and carrots and radishes as they're harvested and have them close at hand and at a nice high height so I don't have to bend over so far when planting these type of vegetables. So let's take a closer look at this raised garden bed and we can get some soil in and get them planted this year. So here are the two raised garden beds, and what's nice about them is they are able to be disassembled and they stack real nicely, such as I have them on the table here. So it comes with these little feet if you want it to be real low to the ground, or it has these nice tall legs. I'm going to assemble it with the legs so that it's at a nice height for me to plant and harvest the lettuce greens and the carrots and radishes. And I can save these little feet for if I ever want to do this on a lower type of height. These raised garden beds came in kits with some little starter seeds and some labels you could cut out of the cardboard packaging. I have my own little plastic labels that I'll be using, and I tried to find this online. I'll try again and see if I can find something comparable, because I think these might be really handy to use and I'm looking forward to planting them. Now when we flip over the soil compartment of these raised beds, you'll see on the bottom there's an area that says you can drill here for excess water removal, so for drainage holes. And there's a 1/2-inch hole, you can use the drill bit and create that hole there. Then it also comes with a little plug, so when you don't want to have it with the drain, just remove that plug and put it in there. I'd recommend creating this drainage hole prior to filling it and make it much easier. It's nice having the option either to use a plug or not. That way it's prepped and ready to go. If you don't want to use the drain access, you can use the plug, but I typically like to have some proper drainage in my container planting vessels, and this will be a good way to do so. So first, let me create some drain holes here, then we can fill this with some soil. Now I'm going to put the plugs in and I'll remove them after I have my soil inside of these vessels and they're all planted out. Now we can attach these legs, and I'll get some nice potting soil into both of these raised beds. Alright, here we have the raised beds all filled with some potting soil. I had 25-pound bags of a premium potting soil and I used about 1.5 bags. You can use whatever brand you prefer for your container planting potting soil. Now let's get some seeds in here. So for the planter on the right, I think I'm going to do my lettuce greens, and I'll do 2 varieties of lettuce. For today's planting of lettuce, I'm going to do a green ice and a classic mix, so like a mixed green and a green leaf type of lettuce. And these both have a similar harvest maturity time of about a month to a month and a half. So this particular raised bed has a little plastic divider you can put in if you're doing numerous different crops or different varieties and you want to keep them straight. So I'll put the green ice, which makes these nice little compact heads of lettuce. I think I'll put 4 in here. These are really superficial planting. Just follow whatever produce item, fruit or vegetable you're planting, their instructions. It's about 1/4 inch. What sometimes works best is just to lay it on top and then just lightly cover it with some soil. I'm going to add a 5th right in the middle. If you want to have a little better odds, you can plant a couple extra seeds in. Now for this mixed green, you can plant quite a bit more in any given area. You can plant 40 plants in a 12-inch container. And there's a variety of lettuce, so there's a variety of seeds. And again, this is a 1/4 inch depth, so I'm just going to sprinkle them over the top. We'll see what grows. And after I harvest, after a month or so, I can always plant another round of it. I can get a number of different harvests then throughout the grow season. So now I'll just go back and lightly cover those seeds. And we'll give it a nice watering. We're supposed to get some rain later today, and that'll help water this as well. Now to the other bed, let's get some carrots and radishes. So for the carrots, I have 2 different varieties. I'm going to do some Danvers 126 and some short and sweet. These take a couple months until harvest, but you can plant them rather close together and get quite a few carrots out of it. Now for the radishes, I have a number of different varieties I want to try, so I'm going to do some champion radishes, some cherry bell, some Easter egg radish, which is a nice multicolor, and some French breakfast. And radishes are pretty nice because they take about 3 to 4 weeks until harvest. So you can constantly be harvesting and replanting radishes if that's something that you want to plant. And they only need to be 1 inch or 2 apart, so you can pack quite a few in a small space. So for this planter, I'm going to use the little divider again. For the radishes, I'm just going to do 4 rows. So 1 row for each of the varieties. And their planting depth is a 1/4 inch. But again, just use whatever direction and instruction your seed packet says for whatever you're going to be planting. I got about a dozen of that variety. That was the champion. So now I'll do the cherry bell. Next I'll do the Easter egg. These are left over from last year, so I'll just use whatever I have on these. These were kind of fun. When they grew, they were bright red and white and kind of a fuchsia, a magenta. They were kind of a fun variety to try out. There's only about 5 or 6 of those. And now I'll do the French breakfast. These are a nice long, slender variety. They have more of a white appearance to them and a little bit more of a mild flavor. I might actually do 2 rows of this one because this has a 23-day to maturity, I believe. There we are. Let me cover these little seeds. Now onto our carrots. The carrots have a little bit longer, they're a couple months. So I'll probably do 2 rows of each type of carrot. So again, I have the Danvers 126. They're nice and sweet carrot. These go a little bit deeper to a 1/2 inch. So what you can do is make just a little shallow trench. I'm gonna do 3 rows. such a small seed, I just kind of sprinkle them along the trench and see what comes up. Gather to cover. There we go. And then the final one. Short and sweet. These are called, they're just these cute little carrots. They're about 4 inches. So again, just sprinkle them along a trench. Try not to be too heavy with it to waste the seed, but they take a couple of months to grow. I want to make sure I have enough in there that we will get some yield of carrot. Now we'll water this raised bed, and I can show you how the domed cover that comes with it looks. And that's kind of nice because then it creates a nice humid environment for your plants to grow. Well, here you have it. Here we have our 2 raised beds. They're up on legs and have a nice domed cover. It's going to rain later, so I may just leave that off so that this can get watered a little bit more and help the seeds to germinate. And I think this style of a container planting or raised bed is a nice option, especially if you have a small space. This would fit nicely on an outdoor patio or deck, or even if you have a lot of room. It looks kind of nice and clean and contained, so you can have this on your patio or deck as well in an outdoor living space. This will work nicely indoor or outdoor. And if you have colder winters, you can certainly disassemble this, and it stacks up nicely as you saw at the beginning of the video. That's how I had it stored away. Now I'm going to create some labels for the different varieties inside of my containers, and after I have a harvest of the lettuce greens or the carrots or radishes, then I'll plant some more and keep them growing throughout the summer and grow season. The way that these raised beds are covered, this will protect from insects, pests, and will allow hopefully a little bit longer grow season because it'll maintain a nice warm environment for the seeds and plants. So I'll try to find this or a similar covered raised bed if you're interested in the style of container planting and you think it might work well for you as well. If not, I'll put the closest I can find, as well as a number of different container vessels that I've used for container planting over the years. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, where we did some gardening and container planting in these new covered raised beds that I was gifted last fall. I'm excited to see how these vegetables grow in this style of a raised bed, and I really like that I can disassemble them and they'll be nice and small for storing during the off season. If you'd like more inspiration or ideas on gardening, or perhaps some food preservation recipes or techniques for what you can do for preserving your harvest, you can check out playlists on the topics. If you're new to the channel or haven't done so yet, I would really appreciate you subscribing. If you enjoy this or any other video that you watch, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And hopefully you continue watching my channel, The Home and Homestead, for more homemade, homegrown, and home style inspiration. Well, I hope you're having a great day. See you next time. Take care.